everybody. Hope I didn't forget you. Sorry, I'm very, very late. But I went and saw the Archbishop today. It was a very important day today for the Archbishop. We were going to remind ourselves and celebrate that he was made the Archbishop of this Archdiocese a year ago, on the 12th of June, 2019, sorry. It might feel like 1919, bless him, but no, it was 2019. So we went today to say thank you. And I've only really just come back, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to carry on with the story of Aios Nektarios. We got to these really colourful bits. We saw that he was teaching in the school and teaching people how to chant, and he helped one of the boys that was very unwell. He prayed and he got better, and he made him a priest, it said. And now we saw that he was cleaning the school to help this man that was very unwell, that would have lost his job, and how much he used to love sharing because he received things from God and he was happy to share them. So he gave his nice clothes to someone that didn't have nice clothes, knowing that he has more will come. So now we're at this stage. Obviously from the picture you can see that there's a lot of gardening happening and something there that doesn't look very friendly, but we find out what that is. Saint Nektarios taught the students with great gentleness. His teaching was always secretly accompanied by the prayer that God would enlighten the mind of every student. So what Aios Nektarios would do, he wouldn't force everybody to have to do big prayers, but he would pray himself in secret that God will help the students where they're learning, because he had done extensive reading in his youth and he was easily able to speak to his students in an inspiring manner, not only about the faith, but also about the history, the literature of the Greek people, as well as about the church history. So because you know from the beginning, we saw from the beginning, Aios Nektarios had this very big ability of listening, because he had to listen in the church to be able to say what the church was saying. Can you see? Yeah. So he was a very good listener, even from very young, because he had to repeat, in other words, say what he heard when he went home. And he carried on. He carried on reading lots of books. Remember, he went somewhere by himself. He worked to go to school. And you see in these pictures how much he loves reading. So he said with his students, because he had all this reading, it was easy for him to share everything that he had learned. Saint Nektarios was also their loving confessor, who always patiently heard the confession of their thoughts and actions, helping them to make their path straight. Confessor, some of you might have actually, some of you at a certain age, you might have a confessor. Children are encouraged. Sometimes people, might start a little bit early, but the church will probably say sometimes that young people become independent at 12 years old. But some children you will see that maybe you start a little bit earlier, because it depends on if you visit the church more often, or you have this relationship with the priest, or sometimes you go to the monastery and maybe you have this friendliness with the monks, or you even know Sister Magdalene. So some of you might start a little bit earlier, but confessor is someone that, a priest that will speak with you, and as it says here, help you to keep you on the path that is straight to heaven. He was trying to instruct them also to be good country priests, and therefore he helped them to plant small vegetable gardens in the seminary backyard to teach them how to fend for themselves. So, like the disciples, Christ said to them, just because you're the disciples, just because you're the people that I chose, doesn't mean that you can go everywhere and not help the people that are listening to you. So they had to be independent. In other words, they had to work. And Ios Nectarios was saying to them, I'm going to make you priests, and if I send you into small villages, I want you to be able to help the village. I want you to be able to look after yourself as well, because the village might be very busy and you're not going to sit there and wait for everybody to look after you. You have to look after yourself and the other people. So Ios Nectarios was teaching them part of their lesson, how to even grow things. So we can see the different things that are here. It looks like it's things that you will find maybe in Greece. I know that you might not be able to see it because it just looks like a green bush, but this is green peppers. Obviously that is red tomatoes. These are orange carrots, green cabbage, yellow corn. They look like this must be peas, because I can see little peas here, and it looks like the plant because I've seen what peas look like, and that's how they grow. The leaves are really nice, sweet pea leaves, you can eat them. And I think these are spring onions, to tell you the truth, but you can't see the bottom of it because it's underground like the carrots, but you can see the top. So I think it's that. So you will see that he showed them how to grow things so that they can look after themselves. One morning, 4 students had such a violent argument that they ended up coming to blows. Now, coming to blows means fighting. Hearing them fighting, the saint came in a hurry, looked at them deeply with his clear blue eyes, and said to them, I am grieved over your behavior, but I will not punish you. I will not eat anything for 3 days, and I will pray to God to remove this disorder from your hearts. So Saint Nectarios showed that he felt responsible, because he's the older one, like what we call sometimes parents or guardians. We're the older ones in your lives, these are the younger ones, and he wanted to show them how much he loved them, that he didn't want them to have this anger. They were feeling very angry inside their heart, because there is nothing that he could do himself. He said the best thing to do is to ask God, and to show how much I love you. I will not eat for 3 days, because he was going to be praying for 3 days to help them. When the boys heard this, immediately kneeled down and bowed their heads, apologizing. Coming out of the school, the 4 were soon reconciled, and all of them acknowledged the fact that they had never received that sort of punishment before. So when they saw how much love Ios Nectarios had for them, he didn't have to tell them off. He just showed them more of God's love. Then it was easy for them to be able to show the same love back to Ios Nectarios, and said to him, look, we're very sorry. And they became friends the same day, and they left even like the best of friends, because they've no one's ever told them these things before. They probably would have expected to be shouted at, or they would have told, you're going to miss out on your break, or you can't have this, or we take away your computer, or you can't go outside. This is how normally they would have expected. But Ios Nectarios knows that God makes everyone good, and they were just tempted because an idea came into their head, and that's why Ios Nectarios wanted to pray to God, so that God would talk to their heart, because this is where God lives in our heart, and the heart, because it's full of love, will bring the peace, will make them friends again, not their mind, not their head, but their heart. And that's how this worked like this. And we can do the same. It's very easy to do the same. Sometimes we forget, but it's very easy to do the same. We could carry on, because I was a little bit late, so I could carry on reading and give you a bigger treat, because I was running late, so we don't have to. We do these 2 more pages here. They're really lovely pictures, actually. So we could see that how much constantly Ios Nectarios doesn't think with his head, thinks with his heart, because look, he helps here, he helps here, he helps here, he helps here. And he just all the time, he just seems to be all the time, he's able to help. Helped here, look. Helped here, helped here. There's not many places really where Ios Nectarios is not helping. He helped here to remember, to build the church and to decorate. He helped here by doing things and praying and doing the efforts. And wow, even here, remember? Unbelievable. Because really, Ios Nectarios had Christ in his heart. So here we see chickens. That's not a giant chicken. That's a turkey. It goes that one. That one goes. These normally go. This one goes. This one goes. And this one, oh yeah, we've done that one. But and obviously Ios Nectarios goes, Lord have mercy. So we will see what this story is about. I know this. I got caught away with the farm animal noises, but it's quite nice to feel young and do young things. Once the bishop was summoned to the house of a family to confess their blind daughter, named Chrysanthi. Now, so this must be a father and that must be a mother. These are animals. That's Ios Nectarios. So this must be the daughter. It seems for her to be sitting on the bench and eating and her parents are working is not because she's lazy, because it looks like that. Why isn't she helping? It's because we found out now that she is blind. The saint was very impressed with the girl's kindness, and her heart was touched by his love. After a long time of waiting, she finally felt that she had found the spiritual father to whom she could tell the innermost desires of her soul. So before, remember we said here that he was a good confessor. Remember we said this here? He said that he could actually hear their confessions. Then this is what she felt as well. This girl Chrysanthi, she felt the love from Ios Nectarios, which gave her this encouragement, this freedom to share with him her innermost desires of her soul, not her mind, remember her soul. This was how the saint found out that Chrysanthi had decided, along with 3 of her friends, to serve God as nuns in a monastery. The saint was overjoyed, but as they were all very young, he advised them to wait a while to see if they changed their minds. He wanted them to make a wise decision, one that would hold for eternity. So you will see, like sometimes if you have an idea, some people will say, well, do you want to think about it first? You might want to do something. They say, would you like to think about it first? Whatever we do, sometimes people, they give us this opportunity. You need to make your mind up. You know, you're choosing something. They say, you sure? Do you want to think about it, just in case you change your mind? So all these things we say to each other. So Ios Nectarios said the same In the church, when someone wants to become a monk or a nun, there is a period of time, they're called dogimos. It's like a trial, you're trying, you want to see, but you still live that kind of life. They will still put you in a monastery, but they won't make you a monk or a nun straight away. You have to wait. Sometimes it depends. I think normally the average is about 3 years. So they normally give you a chance to see if you can be part of that life, because it's not something really you change your mind after you do it. The same way as a priest, you can become a priest. You might have an idea. When I was 13 years old, I knew that maybe God wants me to become a priest, and I was happy to become a priest. So I was saying to myself, I think I want to be a priest, and I was 13 years old, but I have to wait 20 years more. So I was very young, 13. So it took 20 years for me to find out how I would become a priest, because there's 2 ways of becoming a priest. One, you are married, or one, you are not married. So you have to see in which life of a priest you would have, as a married priest or not a married priest. So I had to wait 20 years before this happened. So I was very lucky. So I was in this dogimos stage, not just 3 years, but 20 years. So we can stop here, because I know this bit, what it's going to be, because I don't know how many more. Oh, wow, that's good. Still lots and lots. It's a big book. It's a colourful book. So we stop here. So now we've found that he found the young lady, a good family, and this girl, because she could feel Aios Nectario's love, God's love, that she could trust Aios Nectarios, and because she could trust him, she shared with him her inner, what we said, secrets. Okay? So that's how we've got so far. We will stop there, and then we will read this again next Friday. I know that sometimes, sorry for the people that thought we were doing something different, because I noticed how many people have left the group, but I think it was important to carry on with the reading of the story, and I apologize that we didn't do a service this morning, but as I said, I went to the Archdiocese, and you have the blessings of the Archbishops, and he thanks you all very much for encouraging him and welcoming him to the diocese, and that you're being part of all the efforts that the Archdiocese is making for us. Because they're very happy. I went there and they're very, very happy. They're so excited that the churches are going to open again. So we're going to see you, hopefully, soon, face to face, which is good. Good news. Okay, thank you very much. And we will carry on the story next Friday. Well, there's not much of your day left, but have a fantastic afternoon, and we see you next week.